Yo, one thing I wish more people were more aware of, shit, with things like the connection between your emotions and your organs. See, your emotions and your organs, they, yeah, your emotions and your organs, they like play a large connection to each other. Not a lot of people realize just the different levels of how they feeling can impact the lungs, impact the heart or the pancreas, the liver, the spleen. All these things are things that it can be impacted just based on how you feel. And when those things are out of order or going through things of dis-ease, they play a role in your life. They play a role in your reality. And this is based on just your emotional processing. See, when you feel a certain kind of way, see, there's a spiritual side to it, but the scientific way, I guess one would say, is that your feelings, they release different kind of hormones and chemicals into the body. You know what I'm saying? Everything is it's kind of like a receptive kind of reaction to the things that you feel, the things that you go through. Uh, Whether it be the things of the highest qualities of life or shit like the trauma and the low vibes that we go through. And all those different highs and lows that we go through, they have a specific kind of impact on each organ that takes place within our body. And organs, they're instruments, they're sounds. They play out the waves that you ride on. And depending on how you ride on things, determine the quality of your organ, shit, how your organs are being regulated and how your feelings are being regulated. You know what I'm saying? Things like, like your liver, I believe that deals with your anger and your irritation and your bitterness. And when you are so involved in those negative emotions, they can have like a huge effect on shit, how your liver is working out. You know what I'm saying? And if your liver ain't in check, if your kidneys ain't in check, and the kidneys, they deal with shit like fear. And the kidneys, when their job is supposed to be about cell reproduction. You know what I'm saying? The bladder as well. But this is far like what those organs are for. They won't operate at optimal capacity if the fear that you hold that's trapped in your organs are allowed to manifest and keep festering. You know what I'm saying? If you got weak will, fear, insecurity, and you isolate yourself, you know what I'm saying? The kidneys, they gonna need some kind of detox. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do some things to strengthen them. There are different foods out there that strengthen and heal different organs in your body. You know what I'm saying? Shit like the intestines, the large intestines. They deal with things like just regulating your glands, your digestion, regulating the water, nutrient absorption. And if you're dealing with things like detachment, sadness, and grief, the intestines and the lungs, they won't be fully operatable. And then you have things that get you closer to them kind of cancers, to them kind of diseases. You know what I'm saying? Emotional pairing, man. That shit is like right in the organs. And for your organs to play the sound, for your organs to play that wave that you gotta ride on, you gotta know like which emotion is tied to that organ. You know what I'm saying? You can look all this shit up on your own and you even feel this type of shit. But from the most aboriginal and shamanistic coaches out there, they know that just based on how you feel, how you think, has an impact on the way that your organs operate. If you ain't got them shit in check, they bringing about diseases, cancers, and all these other ailments. It's good, little bro. Hey, Wakanda forever. So my advice To anybody just dealing with all these different levels of shit like anger, fear, um, despair, detachment, worry, all them shits that impact your mind. It works through your heart. So all this shit is like going through your heart indirectly, but it also affects the organs, the other organs that help operate this temporary vessel that you got. And if you can detox that shit, you can get past any kind of emotional trauma, any kind of weight that you done had on your shoulders. Cause you see, like emotions, they get trapped in the body. If you ain't working them shits out, they get trapped in the tendons. It's like, look, it's like these emotional reactions that we have sometimes. You know what I'm saying, like when you about to get hit, you flinch and shit like that. That's the emotional reaction. It's because you done been through that shit before, or you seen it happen, and so your body reacts in that way. And sometimes when your body reacts in that way, the mentality, the feeling of it, it stays around longer than the action of it. And the feeling of it is what I'm sorry, the feeling of that shit and holding that shit in, that's what brings about the the lower levels of operation in your organs. If you're holding a lot of that shit in and ain't trying to let that shit go, trauma, that shit impacts your cognitive processing, being cognitively aware. You know what I'm saying? There's no knowing what shit, making sense out of things. Yeah, that's something one will have to work on and practice. But if things are in the way, like trauma, then your cognitive awareness of things, making sense out of it, are gonna be like shit, impacted in a negative way. You know what I'm saying, the memory of all your trauma and all the shit that you had to go through, they have to be logged in properly by the brain so that you can just go through life not just protecting yourself from what you did from the past, but allowing yourself to grow as well. And if you have certain memories and traumas that continue to affect you and continue to hold you back from making sense of this shit, I mean, all I can do is advise you to release that shit, let it go. And there are different methods of it out there, of course, and different methods work for different people. You know what I'm saying? So some people gotta do acupuncture, some people gotta work out, some people gotta meditate, do some shadow work, or whatever it takes. But no, all this shit is just like based on you learning to let that shit go, getting it out your system. I know this like things are working out. That releases dopamine in the body. The more and more that you work with it. You know what I'm saying? If you do your push-ups, your sit-ups, or whatever it is, you're releasing a lot of like negativity out of the bodies. You know what I'm saying? Them low vibes, some low density, tight feelings and shit, they stay in you. Not only just because they're getting recycled, but because the, the most dense parts of you, the meat, you know what I'm saying? That's where that shit lingers at, and it has an impact on that shit, bringing about cancers and diseases and all that shit, man. You got to work out every muscle, the spiritual muscle, the mental muscle, and the physical muscles, so that you can holistically be aware of your power. Don't destroy yourself. Give yourself life, because that's what you deserve. That's yours. Don't get that shit up for nobody. Don't get that shit up for none of these emotions. They're supposed to be fleeting. They're supposed to just connect you to what's going on, but they don't make you. That's not your book. They can be something that you resonate with, and it's all good. But you're multidimensional, and you have so many layers within you. You have to acknowledge all that. It's okay to acknowledge your feelings. I ain't saying, hey, if you sad, don't just ignore that shit. Nah, that's not good to do. If you're sad, depressed, and irritated, acknowledge that shit. Talk about it with people. But the intentions and the work that you gotta do behind that takes work at night before going to bed. That takes you in your alone time, knowing what's good for you, saying what's good for you, being what's good for you. It's all about evolution, man. And as you just go through your different trials in life and shit like that, those are chances, experiences that you gonna evolve with. So your organs, play them right, feel right. You gotta work right with yourself. Detox some shit if you gotta as well. The foods you be eating, a lot of shit be about emotional hunger sometimes, and the emotional hunger ain't real hunger. It's just you craving some other kind of stimulation because of the stagnation that you be feeling. So I always feel like talking shit sometimes. Talking shit right now. I get in the mood next time, man. I'll say some shit for y'all, but I want y'all to know the vessel that you have, it has a purpose and it has meaning to it. Like you gotta what you put your heart, your liver, your kidneys, guts, and all that shit in check. They play a role in your health, your mental health, and your wellness. Just get to seeing what the things are about. You know what I'm saying? You go to any kind of Chinese doctor, any kind of holistic doctor, and all that shit, man. They say these things are connected to you, and these things are impacting your life. Everything is one. You know what I'm saying? And if you the division that you give it, it helps you dissect and get an overall understanding of what's going on within you. If you can just take apart, all right, this is what this organ is for, this is what this feeling is for, this is what this thought is for. Processing that, understanding that, that's your magic. That's your job. That's what you gotta master and understand. That's all I'm saying, man. I post this shit on up. I'm gonna give y'all something. Let me look back. I'm just whenever I think about some real shit to tell y'all, I just tell it. That's all. So one love, know your power. Peace out.